tunnel vision with what I want and who I am and what I want to do in life. When I know I want to do something or I know I want to go somewhere, it's like I know that that's right for me. So there's no outside distractions pulling me from that. So I don't allow that foundation to be rocked.
The importance of trusting your intuition.
I personally believe that the number one thing that anybody can do in the world is get to know yourself. Unlike, you can learn about yourself and truly get to know who you are and what you want. And then you'll know that you're going to make the right choices in life. You're unhappy in your life. It's not your life that you need to change. It's you.
What does success look like to you?
Honestly, at this point in time in my life, inner peace and happiness, and you're successful.
Welcome to the Successful Irishman podcast, where we know success isn't only about money and material riches, it's about personal freedom, owning your time and leaving your trauma, triggers and limiting beliefs behind. My name is Darragh Byrne, life coach, trauma recovery specialist and entrepreneur. And on this podcast, we will be sitting down with guests to hear their incredible life stories and to challenge the societal idea of success. On today's episode, we have one of my favourite humans in all the world, Robyn Browning. Robyn is a weapon from Dublin, the north side, as they say. Robyn, what you do, you reinvent yourself with ease, what I've noticed over the years with different businesses and all of the things, and it all seems to be in their stride. So it's a pleasure to have you on today and have a chat about that. How are you?
All good. Thanks so much for having me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, all good.
I just actually remembered the last time we chatted on the previous podcast, you were heading off to Peru.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to Brazil.
Brazil, was it? That's right, South America.
Yeah, it was Brazil, yeah. And that was for my late honeymoon. So that was February 2023.
February 2023. How was that? Let's start there, because I haven't spoken to you since.
Yeah. So that was,
I haven't spoken to you properly about it since.
We actually haven't. So that was amazing. Yeah, trip of a lifetime for forever. I have just felt called to go to South America. I don't know what it is or what I still feel like I have to go back and do a lot of South America. But my goal in life was always, by the time I was 30, to have travelled most of the world, and then by 30 to get to South America. And that did happen, but I didn't get to do the trip that I wanted to do. So last year I went back and done Brazil, and it was amazing. We went when Carnival was on, not a festival, Carnival.
Yeah.
Well, we just done loads of amazing stuff. It was gorgeous, really lovely.
Yeah, incredible. We were actually supposed to go there for my stags back in the day, yeah, and then the world closed now. But,
right. Yeah.
I'm actually glad we did.
Unbelievable experience, like just the whole thing in Brazil. Now, Rio wouldn't be my cup of tea, a bit overwhelming, a bit busy, gorgeous, and you've seen it once, you wouldn't need to go back. That's a personal thing with me, you know. It's a little bit dirty, whatever, but gorgeous. But it's the same with the Carnival Festival, like phenomenal, like people and stuff everywhere. But as well, I felt small, tiny bit out of my comfort zone.
Just out of comfort zone in what way?
Just, you're in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Rio, you know what I mean? And so, you know that people know you're a traveller and you're a tourist. Do you know that kind of way?
Okay, so you didn't feel safe?
Didn't feel safe, yeah. Just a little bit, like you just have to have your wits about you. But I mean, other than that, it was amazing.
From where you came from, I'm sure you had your wits about you.
Fresh out of the flat.
Sharp as an arrow. Yeah, look, I know a few friends who've been robbed over there.
This is it. You could see it happening, like, you know what I mean? It was notorious on the streets, people and stuff. And I was just kind of like, didn't want to put myself in that energy of having to be like in fear or whatever. So 3 days maybe in Brazil or in Rio was perfect. And then we went and moved on and done different things and went to a fabulous island and all was gorgeous. But Rio, yeah, that's what I felt in Rio. You can tell that the pickpocketers were out, and you know what I mean? All the energy was high.
They were all watching there. Just two quick stories. I had a client who, him and his mate were there, and they went on a boat party, had a best time on the boat. Fucking partied all day with everybody on the boat, but the people on the boat robbed them when they got off the boat.
Yeah.
And then another one of my mates separately, he was having a good time clubbing away, and he got partying with this group of people, and then eventually they were like, right, we're going to the ATM, empty our bank account. So he had, what did he do, Mark? I think he gave them something and then legged it. But yeah, he didn't fucking empty his bank account. I think
Yeah.
you only have a daily limit on them as well, which is
But
not
and what
so
do you
bad.
do in that situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have guns, so there's fucking not much you can do, is there?
Yeah.
It's not worth
No. You hand
it.
it over.
Yeah, exactly. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, as we know, did you not go to Machu Picchu? Did I not see you in
Yeah, so
photographs
that
over
was
there?
my trip that I wanted to do. So, as I said, my goal was to travel most of the world by the time I was 20, and I wanted to see actually the seven wonders of the world. So, Machu Picchu was being my last one, and that was when I was 30, which was 2019. Got to Machu Picchu, and I done Peru back then. But my trip was
Yeah,
cut very short, so I didn't get to finish it. So, I still feel I have to go back.
the cars is out.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, what? Alan got sick or something, was it?
Yeah, we just had to come back. Yeah, so we didn't get to do it. It was a beautiful trip that we had planned. But anyways, it's still there when the kids are reared and we are in retirement and gone around South America.
Yeah, of course. So look at you now knew you could retire next week.
And not feel anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. So look at, as we all know, life doesn't begin in Brazil if you're from Ireland. So a quick debrief or a quick overview of life growing up, where you're from, what life is like for you growing up, and yeah, what you've done along the way.
So yeah, basically very hard, tough upbringing from Hardwick Street flats in Dublin city centre. Um, Grew up in a council flat all my life, and basically we came from absolutely nothing, and it was just in survival mode all your life as a child, in survival mode. But at the same time, like, had so much fun and so many good times, as well as it being so hard.
Hmm.
Like when you think back, like, it was extremely tough, but I mean, it was brilliant.
Here, it actually makes me wonder because I was the same, obviously, up just on the south side, cleaner part of
North
Dublin.
side of
I won't get you started, but do you think it's the same these days? Like, is a bit for kids growing up? Like, do they have as much fun in the outdoors and
no.
being adventurous and yeah, adventurous? Creating their own. Like we needed to do because we didn't have anything.
Yeah, like we played games with pebbles.
Pebbles
Do you
and
know what I mean? Like, just pebbles. You'd
bottles
pick up pebbles and start to play games, or you'd have a little bag of marbles. You'd have pogs and just all different things. But like the kids nowadays, I think they have, which is a very fast world, right? We're moving and things are a lot faster. They have an awful lot of things, but they're also, I think, very distracted with five things every single day after school, whether it's football, dancing, bit of the, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
They're
yeah,
constantly doing something, and they don't have that time to create or be imaginative anymore. And it's
yeah.
completely taken away from them. That's what I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that and their hobbies as well, with the likes of the
It's not to say
technology.
don't have a hobby, but I do think there's an awful lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and because people can, or do you want their kid to be the best, and I get it, but it's sometimes a little bit too much. We're not leaving the kids or allowing the kids just to be bored. They
yeah,
don't figure
yeah.
stuff out.
Huge
Mm.
figure stuff out. Yeah, my kids actually here, they got a bag of marbles yesterday. I don't know where they got them. They're on the couch somewhere. That they're already killing each other over them. But they're so funny. He's big enough to fight back. Obviously, he's three now,
Great.
and she's the boss, obviously, because she's bigger and older. But they're great friends, kissing, hugging one minute, the next minute they're battling
Brilliant.
each other, looking for something. Yeah, mommy,
Yeah.
daddy. But yeah, so yeah, growing up for you on the flats, yeah, give us a window into that. What games were you playing? What was
Yeah,
going?
so like was everything, building camps was our main thing. So we'd be going out and getting loads of different wood, cardboard. We'd somehow get a hammer, we'd get a pack of nails, and we'd build it a camp, like, and then we'd get an old mattress, and you'd be just sitting in there till whatever time in the evening, till your man tries to come and find you, you'd hear her calling you. But like, for one person, I remember there was this one chap that we used to hang around, and he used to delegate it, like, builder. So no one else was allowed to touch the hammer, and he built the camp, be like a camp. What people call them, like, what else would you be called?
Can't be it. No, that's it.
That's
Same
what
for
we
me.
called them. Yeah, I think if you were from
And
a
a
house these days, there
base.
was something else, a base.
A base, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
mental. Yeah, no, because that's another thing, isn't it? Because today, like, even with us, even with me, like, the kids can't see the kids for more than 5 minutes. Like, where the fuck are they? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Back in the day, you're gone for five. 10 hours in one go.
Yeah, no phones,
Summer
you've no
holidays.
contact,
Yeah, they're just
and
out there.
you're just trusted that you'd be home at a certain time, and you would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, most of the time.
I was just about to say that for the most part. And then no problem screaming the fucking flats down. Yeah, dinner's
Yeah,
on the table.
yeah. But even going and calling your friends, you'd have to knock on their door. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to call them at their window or whatever. It's just very different now. And I know this is the times we're going with, but I just think it's pushing the connection further and further away, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it's although it's faster to connect, it's all connecting through a screen because you're
Exactly.
connecting
But
on
like we're
WhatsApp
losing
and
confidence and we're losing general life skills, you know?
So look at teenage years, give us a window. What was going on then?
Teenage years, I was full blown tomboy. Probably would have been bouncing around in hand me down tracksuits from my brother. And
I
yeah,
see
just
some
up to
things
all
never
sorts.
change.
Like, well,
I said I see some things never change.
yeah, just up to all sorts. Just basically hanging around or finding something to do all the time, finding a wall or an old building site to climb in, or cycling around, or getting the bus here or there, like just acting the maggot, but having a great time, you know, just looking for things to do. But yeah, we always were busy, but we were always climbing, or we were always like adventurous, always adventurous.
Yeah.
And bouncing from different areas. Like, do you know what I mean? I grew up in Hardy Street, you bounce down to Dorset Street, or like sometimes you'd end up over in Crumlin then when you got a bit older, or, you know, different things like this. And that was a bit wild. You get a bus then out the fingers and you'd miss the last bus home, or yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We used to get the last, what was it, get off at the last stop and just fucking see how we can get home.
See
Just
how
make
you can, yeah.
it. Go out to Bray or something. Or even
Yeah,
on the
those
train.
pennies and you'd only pay for two.
Yeah, 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 some bus. Um, so yeah, just being advanced because it used to be like going, like it's going on holiday because parts of the city that you'd never seen before. So it's sort of
Oh
like
yeah.
you're not supposed to be doing it, and that added to the
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. And back then, I think like at that age, well, teenagers, like your friends are your life. Do you know what I mean? So every day you go to school, and if you didn't go to school, your friends at home, you'd be living to get home to them. And then if your friends met other friends on a holiday or wherever, it'd be like, right, all somewhere, let's go over and hang around with them. And it was just brilliant. Your friends were definitely your life, and well, ours were in our teenagers.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that was the same for me because we got bikes and all of my friends were like, don't go over the north side, fucking, the whole north side, south side thing. And I'm like, I'll go over and find out myself because when you
Yeah,
make up your own
I got
mind
bike
about
too.
things. Never, not once. But yeah, no, I end up leading hanging around in what's that place beside the Bride, not the Bridewell, where the markets are, all around the markets.
Yeah, down by
Barry.
yes, Kevin Barry and Creek Street.
Greek Street, all around there for a while, yeah. And then I was in
Yeah.
Brothers Gaff for loads of the years as well. And then
Mm.
up the Cronin, up chasing all the girls, fucking on the Christmas push bikes. The
Yeah.
state of
You
us,
and all
yeah.
your friends, you all get the same bike every Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, some buzz. And then looking for
Yeah.
you then, obviously we don't remain teenagers forever.
No. So then coming out of my teenage years, I went to beauty school when I was 18 and came out of that then, and I done 12 weeks travel straight after. I always wanted to go to Australia. I always wanted to go to Australia. So back then I went to Australia for 5 weeks, and then the plan was to go for 5 weeks, continue on and do Asia for 5 weeks, and then come back and see how we felt and did I like it, and to go back over and live. So we done 5 weeks traveling from Cairns down to Sydney, and then flew over to China, Beijing, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Cambodia. So I done that when
Wow.
I was 20, and there was 25 of us in Australia, Irish, traveling from Cairns down to Sydney. There was 12 of us
Wow.
on a bus traveling, and then like every time we'd get on a bus to go to the next town, and then there was
Yeah.
another 12 in camper vans, and we'd meet up in the hostels at every.
Stop
Oh,
it.
I'm telling you now, they knew the Irish were coming. It was a ball. It was the
Yeah.
best thing I've ever done in my life now. So it was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, fucking hell. When we done that, there was two of us and three girls. Melissa O'Brien was there as well. But there was only five of us. They
And it was
followed us down.
25 of us, just friends
Yeah,
of friends that all met. And there was a couple of us, like a couple of people from Finglas, and then I just went. It was just brilliant. And then a couple of my friends had went to Australia. One of my friends, he actually lived in the flats, and then I met him when we stopped in Brisbane, and brilliant.
Deadly. And what, so you
Yeah.
did that for the whole 5 weeks?
So I done that for 5 weeks from Cairns down to Sydney, like done with Sundays, Fraser Island, stayed with the Aborigines on Fraser Island, done with
Ah,
Sundays. We
deadly.
stayed on a catamaran for 2 nights on off at with Sunday somewhere. And then like each night, I think 5 of us had to camp. So one of the nights I had to camp on the island while people were on the boat. Just an experience of a lifetime. And then we finished the trip in Sydney. But when we got to Sydney, it was a bank holiday and we hadn't pre-booked, or like we weren't kind of on the ball with accommodation. So you want to see the place we stayed in. It was horrendous. So that was in Sydney. That was me. I didn't like Sydney. That was me. Like, what would you call me? Whole idea of Sydney, I hated it because of that. So I've yet to go back and maybe like Sydney again. I didn't like it.
Little princess, what? I mean,
it wasn't. It was just tough. It was bank holiday. The place was mental. It was lashing, and we were in this like, I'm not messing with you, this hostel, and the water like was dripping out of a wall for a shower. It was bad.
stop. I actually hated Sydney before, for the first while, before I moved there. The first few years, it was little mountain,
Yeah.
yeah, little winds, and like rain and the fucking
Yeah, it was
hills and
lashing,
all.
and then I got onto Bondi Beach, and I was like, this is like Bray. That's the
Yeah,
whole thing about this.
because it was raining, yeah. But
Yeah.
Jesus, man, it's my favourite place. One of my favourite places in the world now.
Yeah.
But here, coming down the coast and for yourself, and don't mind me yawning, for anyone who doesn't know, it's 4 a.m. here for me in Australia, in Bali. About 4:45 now at this stage. I'm yawning my head off here. But anyways, I hope I don't wake the kids
Too
up
early
that
for
bit.
you and a little bit too late for me.
Yeah, just squeezing it with the kiddies. Um, but what would you say to people, right? You got up and went traveling at the age 20. If you could encapsulate your whole trip, and China as well, we'll come back to that, but if you could encapsulate your whole trip into one sentence, and what advice would you give to other people who are young and thinking about it but afraid of it, going traveling the world?
Just believe in yourself, and yeah, just believe in yourself, and take the chance. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen? Honestly, I never, I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just who I am or how I am, but like people would always remind me when I look back, like I don't fear anything like that, or I don't fear making a decision. And you just have to trust and believe in yourself, and that's it. Like I'm very blessed, I suppose, that I really do believe in every single thing or choice that I make, that I can back it up. Do you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
even if I go or I make a choice or I do a thing and I know it's probably the wrong thing, yeah, it's on me. Do you know what I mean? But just believe in yourself and trust and take the chance. Honestly, like I fully believe, I do believe I was an open kind of minded person prior to that, but 100% open to me, mind and so wide open.
Yes, I love it. So look at quickly encapsulate how you were feeling, like when you were heading to Australia. Yeah, tell us that first.
So like back then, how was I feeling? It was just, yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Didn't know what to expect. There was no smartphones. I had got a Facebook account, and to keep in contact with family, I would upload pictures onto my Facebook, but I'd have to go into an internet shop,
Uh-huh.
connect my camera to the computer, upload my pictures onto my Facebook, and I sent home postcards. I sent home postcards.
Wow,
Yes, and like to top up
hilarious.
my phone to ring Ireland, you'd have the card with the 24 digits on it, and you'd have a little Nokia, you top it up to ring, or you put the number in before the phone number and everything. It's
The
not
minute.
like now,
So
honestly.
what
Like
you're
I went away
saying,
for 12 weeks and I sent home a postcard.
a postcard, yeah, and load of nerves for the
Yeah.
parents too.
But when I think back now, I actually think like, how did me mum, how did she feel? Never mind me, but how did she feel letting her 20-year-old daughter go traveling like at a time back then? Like, so obviously she had to really break down those barriers of how she felt, and what if anything could have happened, or you know what I mean, or what if I decided never to come home, or what if, like, let's say worst case scenario, fucked up, and you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
had to be that brave to be like, okay, yeah, and wish me well, like, on my way.
Uh-huh. My mom blade scouting me out the door. Go on,
Pack your bags for you.
you'll be grand. Yeah, I swear to God, I said all my goodbyes, I did all of the things, and I was brand new, everything. Yes, see you later, I could look. And I went back down to my ma's to get my bag or whatever, and I drove out, and I didn't even live in my ma's at the time, I was just saying goodbye, basically. And I had Warner, he was in the car, and I said goodbye. As I tried to say goodbye to my ma, I broke down crying.
Did you?
And our friend was in the gap, but I couldn't fucking speak. I was 21, like, and
Yeah.
I was crying to the point where I couldn't actually say anything. And she's like, "You relax with it." She gave me a hug, and I swear that was actually it's profound advice, because I still remember it to this day, and it's something that I lived with the whole time I was away. She gave me a big hug. She says, "Look, Dara, it's all right. All you need to know is if you want to come home, we're only one flight away.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and that's literally it.
That's it. No matter how
Yeah.
far in the world you are, you're only one flight away." And that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
simplicity of it.
Or one decision away from
Yeah,
a change. One
same.
decision or one choice to be like, "Do you know what, my time is up, or this is not for me, I'm gone."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's all it takes, you know.
So
It's not
anyone
forever.
listening,
Doesn't have to be forever. Maybe it is or whatever, but it's one decision.
hmm and so that's for everybody listening here. Like everything is life is about choices. From awareness
Yeah.
comes choice, and the more we learn, the more we get to choose. You
Exactly.
like something, you don't like it. Choose different.
Mhm. Yeah.
And also coming back to Robyn, you said, "What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen?"
Exactly.
That's the other side of the
Yeah.
coin. So,
That is. So you have two choices. Like, you look at any situation, whether it's traveling or wherever. Does a worst thing that can happen, or does the best thing that can happen? And it's,
uh-huh,
I only actually posted this probably on my Instagram the other day, and it's about perspective.
hmm
And you know, what do we look at? Some people always have the doubt and always have the fear, or else you look on the other side and go, "Well, what if?" You know.
uh-huh. What if it all works
And
out
it's about
exactly?
rewiring
And
our
even
brain and just
because
believing.
that's the thing, and we'll cross into that obviously, because you're an entrepreneur as such. You've had many businesses, many masks, and all of the things. But quickly encapsulate how you felt coming home. You said you went to China, and then we'll move on. What the fuck was
So
that
yeah, I
like?
went to China, and I went to China, like, and like that, there was, well, no fear, but I'll never forget going to China. Like nobody, there was nowhere with English speaking,
Yeah,
or like no way of getting around China. I'm pretty sure China is still hard today, like, and this was 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more. So, like, and I remember when we got to China, we nearly, like, quite close to
China.
getting kidnapped. So I believe it was getting kidnapped anyways. Like, there was a Chinese couple calling us out of the airport, and you're after being traveling and you're tired or whatever, and they obviously knew we looked confused and blah blah. Yeah, and trying to show them the hotel. And we walked with them then, and I was just like, you know, your gut instinct, this is not right. And when we went down to where we were going to get in the car with them, it was like a blacked out van.
Okay.
And obviously then the instincts and the gut kicked in, and I was like, nah, like, we're in, what we doing? We woke up, what we doing? We're in China. You know, we can't be doing this type of stuff.
Yeah, of course. It's funny.
Yeah.
Fucking 5 minutes ago, I telling
Yeah.
everyone to
And you
go
know what's
travel
funny?
the
Sorry, one
world.
more thing on China before we move on. And back then and everything, I was like, oh yeah, go over to China. I'll get one of the nicest curries in the world. It's not like
It's
very
not.
different.
Yeah, it's rotten. Real
Wrong.
Chinese food is so it's
Very
halfway
different.
still alive, isn't it?
Yes, very different.
Yeah, I think you can only the curry that we get. I think it's only in Ireland and in the UK.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
sauce and all. You don't
Chinese
get that sauce in China.
here in Bali, no, you don't. Not at all.
Mm,
And
yeah.
Bali's the same. Bali's it's got a huge language barrier now. There's a lot of expats here. Like, where was I yesterday? Where was I yesterday? I was just ordering something, and you gotta show them, because it's not their fault, and
Mm,
we don't speak their language, so it's not their fault,
exactly. Yeah.
But it is challenging. But complete stonewall in China, I would imagine, is
Yeah.
uh hard.
Yeah. And then, so from China to Vietnam to Cambodia and Thailand. And it was gorgeous. We went from Vietnam to Cambodia on a 2-day boat trip. So it was like a slow boat down through a river, and then in the nights you'd stop, and they'd obviously have your accommodation, like hostel or wherever, planned out for you. But it was phenomenal. Like like the experiences that I had, the things I seen was unbelievable. Like children,
Hmm
and I seen floating houses back then and all, and wasn't really like the internet, or the world wasn't as small through the internet back then. You know what I mean? So I
Uh-huh.
was seeing these things that I never knew existed,
Oh yes,
you know?
jackpot. And
Yeah.
the eyes are the windows to the soul too. So how
Yeah.
did it
And like
make you
even the
feel?
Great Wall of China, like, so like being on the Great Wall of China, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, how did it make you feel when you were saying these things for the first time?
Just very lucky and very grateful. And again, though, as well, like obviously, no, I was going to say some people don't get to do stuff like that, but that's the power of the belief. I just feel very lucky and grateful. And again, that knowing that me believing in myself gets me to where I get in life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I believe like that it's not just, oh, I stand here believing myself, it's the vibration of the energy that I give out and I attract, and that's what elevates me and takes me to many, many different places.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Mm.
So after traveling,
So after traveling, then came back, and I actually walked straight into a job when I came back. Had that lined up before I came back,
hmm
and then soon after that, I was pregnant on my daughter Lola, who's 13, nearly 14. So I had Lola when I was 21 then,
uh-huh.
and bit of a mixed emotions. A young girl having a baby, friends were all going to partying all the time and whatever. So I kind of like, oh, it's my life over, but it wasn't my mum and whatever. Our dad and the family and all, I had great help and support. And then soon after that, me and her dad like had to split up. So I was a single mum, but I lived at home with my own mum, which is great.
Uh,
And she helped me. And then from then on, kind of every year, me ma would mind our Taylor, and I got to continue on my travelling little book and got to see different places around the world.
yes, epic,
Mm.
epic. So you said it was a bit challenging at the start, being a mother
Yeah, I
at
think it
such a
was
young
like I was
age.
young, 21, and my friends at that time, 21, like was the peak of your life. Your friends are going out every single
Yeah,
weekend.
I love it.
Uh,
Uh,
Friends are going out every single weekend, and you're 21, and I was probably one of the first ones, like my close friends, to have a baby. And it was just kind of like, oh yeah, because I just had to suffer then waking up. This is what I was thinking. Oh, like I won't be able to have a hangover or whatever, and they didn't have to care. But then that was me like kind of looking on the wrong side of it. And in many other ways, it changed me and made me a lot
uh-huh.
stronger, because it built me up and it built resilience up for me, like my get-go in life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I built my business and my brand from very young, from this place of being that young single mother at the time,
uh-huh.
and it just made me really like get the reins on and get going.
The single mother slash provider. So
Yeah,
there was only not motivation. It's happening basically. There's only one outcome because you're gonna make it that way. Is
this
that
is
right?
it. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
that's
were
it. Yeah,
well driven because you obviously have to look after your baby.
yeah, yeah.
So there was nothing gonna
Yeah, and
stop
times
you.
were hard. Like there was some weeks that, like, I remember then there was a time I lived with my mum for a while, and my mum was like, right, she was going to move out, met her lovely partner, moved on and all. And I remember there was times where I lived on my own with Lola, and I was like, holy jeez. And I remember there was one bad week that I had, and I was like, nah, I'll never let myself be in this situation financially and mentally ever again. Like, I had
Uh-huh.
bills now covered, but it was just like, I'll never allow myself to feel like this again. Like, where you're just on the hamster wheel struggling, where you can't catch up on yourself.
Tell us what was happening, what were you feeling, why were you feeling like that?
Just basically you're on the hamster wheel every week, like meet ends with weekend, and like just let's say money and survival, because your money's not your own when you have a baby, or it's not just about you. You have to make sure you have food, bills, they need clothes, everything you need, like kids need stuff. And so yeah, every week it was just felt like a bit of a struggle for me.
Uh-huh.
And then it was like, you know what, this is not what I signed up for, and this is not how I'm going to stay. So
Uh-huh.
I'm getting myself out of this situation. And I did. I just started. Yeah, I don't know. Like I just started. I worked really hard. I worked really hard from a young age, and I just built myself and my brand right up, and I didn't stop
Uh-huh.
until this year.
Uh-huh. So yeah, well done. And the brand, let us know. What is it? What did you start working at?
So I, as I was saying, I went to beauty school when I was 18, and then I had Lola, and I was in a salon, a bit more of a, I was trained in facials, massage, all different ends of the beauty treatments. But then when I had Lola, it was kind of more makeup, tan, nails. I'd done nails and stuff like that. And then over time, as I evolved and things changed, I became really skillful at doing eyebrows. So over time, then I just kind of listened to the path that was guiding me, and I gave up absolutely everything else because I was so busy full-time job doing eyebrows. And then when I started kind of going down that, and which was eyebrows and whatever, I was like, right, my goal was to have a studio, and my vision was to have 5 or 6 walking beds, staff, my own brand, and I would have loved to teach. And I done everything that I set out to do.
Yeah, you did actually. I just, as you were saying that, my niece, I believe, done one of your courses.
Yeah, she did.
Amy, yeah. Congratulations with that, because I obviously seen all of that grow
Yeah.
when I used to bash it in the gym. But
Yeah, so I remember, I'll tell you one quick thing as well. I remember when I was doing eyebrows, and then semi-permanent eyebrows came in, kind of took the world by storm. And I kept saying I'd love to do semi-permanent eyebrows, and semi-permanent is expensive, the training. And so I just kept visualizing, as like, I'd love to do these semi-permanent eyebrows. Where am I going to get this money? But I'll get it from somewhere, whatever. And I think the deposit was €400. And was 1 week, and I was like, right, I saved up and saved up. My last €400, I said, I'll just give out the deposit, and I'll get you that 2 or 3 grand up somehow. I'll work for it. And but like that left myself out of pocket, and like didn't know where this money was coming from, but knew I had to work for it, that it was going to come. And I mean, that itself changed everything for me with regard to the business.
And well done for that. I want to ask and touch on that and congratulate you on that, because a lot of people fear the unknown. And when you jump into it like that with full commitment and obviously huge intention, let us know how it all unfolded when you took that bigger chance on yourself and your education.
What I believe as well, though, and I think this has got to do with where I came from and how I was raised. We didn't have a lot. So when you don't have a lot, you make a lot of what you have, right?
Jackpot.
And yeah, and that's exactly it. So like, let's say me knowing I wanted to do this semi-permanent brow course, and bear in mind, I didn't have any startup fund, or I didn't have, when I first rented a studio for a salon, I had to get a loan for the rent. I didn't have €1,000 to pay for the rent. I had to get a loan for it. And I had to, I think I remember there was me and a girl, Yvonne, was opening a salon down at the flats together. She got a loan and I got a loan. So we got a loan for the rent and the back month or something would have been an extra month that you pay. And the only money that we had together was about €270 for paint. And we painted a shop ourselves. So I believe when you do this yourself from a place of I want to and I'm going to do this, you make it happen.
Bingo.
You make it happen. Like, whereas if you're well to do, or I think there's very few people, like let's say yourself and myself, we have kids when they're older and we have a bank account there for them with startup fund, the appreciation is not the same. I don't believe, not in everybody, 90% of the time the appreciation is not the same.
Yes, so they have less drive.
Because they don't need to fight for it, they don't need to make it happen, or they don't have that fire behind the passion of what it is that they want to do.
I hear you. Here, can you, I'm just, obviously I work with nervous systems. Can you let us know what it was like or what it felt like while you were going through those transitions?
Honestly, like stuff like that, I don't like, and I don't want to sound like I'm bigging myself up here, but there's very few times in life that I have been shattered, but there's very few times that things would rock my boat. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, not yet, because obviously there's your nervous system. Some people are anxious, some people are stressed, some people are, worried that it's not going to work out and all the things. How was it feeling for you as you were doing that?
For me, my personal view on stuff like that is like, let's say me, I'm very much a person like that. I've tunnel vision with what I want and who I am and what I want to do in life. So when I know I want to do something, or I know I want to go somewhere, it's like, I know that that's right for me. So there's no outside distractions pulling me from that, so I don't allow that foundation to be rocked, so my nervous system doesn't get
Yeah,
anxious.
I
That's
hear you.
me.
So now the other side of that coin, for you, giving advice to anybody who's listening to this that might want to start a business or travel the world or do the thing, and what would you say to them if they're feeling nervous?
So I would say to someone feeling nervous about any situation in life, whether it's traveling, starting a business, buying a house, or whatever, I personally believe that the number one thing that anybody can do in the world is get to know yourself. Like learn about yourself and truly get to know who you are and what you want. And then you'll know that you're going to make the right choices in life and you'll trust
Uh-huh.
in yourself.
Uh-huh. Love it. And
Mm.
how would people who don't know themselves get to know themselves?
I do a class every second Friday. No.
There you go. Sell it, girl.
Yeah, no,
Sell it.
so so you work on yourself. When I think back, I didn't even understand or know why or what I was doing for. I've journaled since I'm 18. And I don't know why I started doing it, whatever. I have been kind of following like the law of vibration and energy since I'm probably 15. That's through my mother. And so stuff like that has came to me. But anybody who doesn't know how to get to know themselves, like find something, try something new, step out of your comfort zone, go for a walk in the park, sit on your own, sit in silence, listen to music, and then you'll start to get light bulb moments where you're like, hey, that's for me, or hey, that's not for me. And what I do believe you have to be on your own. You have to sit in silence, get a small bit uncomfortable, go out to nature, listen to nice music, and then we'll add in like a little bit of journaling or whatever. I don't think like a yoga class or a ceremony or an event or anything like that is going to get you there. I believe like sitting in that place on your own, stillness and silence with music or nature, and that's where you start to build that. Okay, this is what I want, and this is who I am.
Yes, I love that. Thanks, Robyn. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? The more we try new things, the we get to see what we love and what we don't.
Yeah, and as well, like when you're on, if you're on your own or whatever, you're sitting your sitting room or you go for a walk in the park, you know, the choices that might come or the little light bulb moments go, oh, do you know what, I might join that yoga class. It's coming from you. It wouldn't be, oh, my friend Dara rang me and said I'm going to go to yoga class. That's not really what I have chose to do. You have gave me the option and I have said yeah, and it might
Yeah.
help me. But when you're on your own, you really discover what it is that you want to do.
Yes, I love that. So, Robyn, you built this brow studio up to, I think the page had over 10,000 the last time I seen it, well, probably a couple of years ago. So you built up a big business.
Built up a big business. I was really active on social media. Up until probably 2 years ago, I kind of it changed a little bit from and then through it changed, lockdown kind of changed everything. It slowed obviously business down and all the rest of it. And during lockdown, then I done online training for sound healing. I just felt like that again. I just felt a call to do sound healing. I was very connected with energies and frequencies. I love frequency music. I always love frequency music. I'd seen benefits of frequency music, how powerful it was on like a close friend of mine that was sick and everything, you know, even just to get them into a relaxation or even for me going to sleep, it was brilliant. So I looked deeper into that. And I trained in sound healing a couple of years ago. So then after lockdown, the salon, everything came back, and I started weekends. I worked the salon full time, and then on weekends I would tap into creating and holding events in the salon. And people, I suppose, again, just trusting in me and coming, and they're just so powerful and they're brilliant. So that brought me up to then when I became pregnant. And yes, when I became pregnant, I was just like, right, listen to myself, and I've got everything I wanted out of salon. I'm really like, and I have got a skill. Like I'm really skillful with doing the eyebrows, but I just was like, I want to be a mom. I want to be in full zone here. I've got everything that I wanted from that baby, which was my brow studio, and now I want to be able to really feel into this, being that bit older. Yeah, I suppose just not having a responsibility. I know the baby was a huge responsibility, but not having hundreds of clients or the responsibility of overheads, and I just wanted to sit with myself for a while and be able to walk down the street without having to worry about what's happening next or whatever.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And this is obviously one of the big parts that I wanted to have you on, because you can reinvent yourself like it's like a snake shedding its skin. It's incredible. And you're not attached like I obviously don't know the full numbers, but I know how big the brow business grew to in terms of the social media. I can remember crossing
Yeah.
10,000 followers. And you had some like what people would call celebrities and all sorts of people. You had school, you had staff, you had a studio and all of the things. And you're like, you know what? Now it's time to close all this down.
Yeah, so yeah, no,
I'm
I
gonna
really
go
built up and I
do
worked really hard, I
some.
suppose, for years. Like everything that I done or had, I have to thank as well to my clients, but like I would have had like thousands of brow clients, like not hundreds, but thousands. I had people coming from Armagh, from Galway, from all over Ireland to come and get their eyebrows done off me. I travelled as well, like to London. I travelled to lots of different places to learn different skills and different things. And yeah, I just like something just changed in me and in the whole industry. And do I think I'll never be a part of it again? Maybe not. But I think like I'm being directed a different way.
Yeah, epic. What touching on, right? So I'll come back to education, but first I want to touch on trusting your instinct. So highlight for the listener, because you obviously, you were awakened by your own inner compass, because sound healing, like let's call a spade, will probably never make it as much financial abundance as what the eyebrows did. Is that right?
That's correct.
Got
Yeah,
full hippie.
very true.
Yeah.
So what
The
did you ask me
import
there? Sorry.
the importance of trusting your intuition. So a lot of people hate their life. Like I was about making a post yesterday, right? And it was about Monday. It's not Monday I hate, it's your life. So a lot of people say, oh fuck that, I'm not
Yeah,
going
and
to
you
the
know what I
work.
say to that? Because I was thinking about this as well, right? I
Yeah.
only thought about this today. And if you're unhappy in your life, it's not your life that you need to change. It's you.
Aha.
That's it. It's
That
not your
part.
life that needs to change. It's you when you're unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I am forever grateful for every single thousand of clients that walk through my door. And I constantly thank them myself here, because everything that I have, or the woman that I am today, is because I'm at it. Like I've have a really good, do you know what I mean? I've had a really good few years, and I still have, and I will always have a really good life. And it's but for that phase of my life, I really thank those clients. But the thing is, you asked me something there, sorry, my mind's gone a little bit blank.
Your intuition.
Yes, your intuition. So like the thing was, I was starting to hate my days, right? Because I took on too much pressure, and I was starting to dislike how my days were, and I was starting to dread coming in, starting to dread seeing the client's name, starting to dread seeing the phone, dread seeing different things like this. So for me, it was like, right, is the eyebrows that I need to do or that I don't need to do, or what is it? Well, this is not what I want. I'm not happy with this. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
feel like this. So something needs to change.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Something needs to change. Like, and I wasn't continuing to wake up every day and continuously drag myself into work to give out about it, give out about the clients, or give out about how people were. That's not why I do eyebrows, or that's not why I done it, or whether it's eyebrows or anything. That's not how I will live in my days. So I was like, this needs to change. And then I got pregnant, and Bo made my decision very easy for me.
Yeah, legend. Because this is what I do with a lot of my clients. They come in the same situations, but when they really wake up to who they are, they get to see what they don't want, and change becomes easy. Bang, bang.
Easy.
And some of them become entrepreneurs and made fucking
And I
millions, have a
have,
lot of staff. Go ahead.
sorry, speaking of you there, Snoop, I have realised, because when I closed the salon, right, I closed the salon, closed the door last September, knocked off the phone, completely knocked off the phone, erased the bank account, erased all my business, everything got to do with my business, locked the door, walked away, and never thought, like, I genuinely didn't think anything about it for like, I never even came back up to the stuff left in the studio, and I just walked away from it. And I was like, I'm never gonna do eyebrows again. And I was
Mm.
saying all this, and that was how I was feeling at the time, because it was actually after sucking the life out of me that I was just like, you know what, it's not for me. Like, it can be heavy on the body and the mind, especially when you're someone like myself who likes to do a little bit of work on themselves, and you really absorb people's energies. And people,
Mm-hmm.
then you come in and they're on a lower vibration. And it's not to say that there's anything, everyone needs to be all high and work on themselves, but you absorb a lot of that. And people don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that they can be complaining about the weather, or they can be complaining about loads of different things. So that was like literally unplugging me every day.
Yeah, yeah,
So then when I closed, I was like, right, never doing eyebrows again. But now I've realized that, because I do eyebrows for some regular clients in a very different way, and I love it.
yes. So what you've done is you've
On very
created it.
different terms. I do a lot less.
Yeah, yeah. So you've created an environment that is set up for you to win based on
Exactly.
what you love
Yes.
and
Yeah.
dislike in life. Perfect. And everyone
Yeah.
gets the opportunity to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just about choice.
Uh-huh.
It's just about choice.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
that's
Like at one stage I was kind of like, because I was like, right, maybe my clients will never come back to me, that's fine. What do I do? And then closed the salon, had the baby, was kind of like, right, whatever, options were open. I ended up opening a sauna business on my maternity leave. And then over time, organically, people were contacting me. Can you do my eyebrows? Can you do my eyebrows? And I was like, okay, you know what? There's enough of these people. I didn't tell anybody that I was back working, and I've been back working, but only when people are organically coming back to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's epic. That's epic
Mm.
because it's a lifelong skill, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm very blessed that I don't have to market or advertise myself like that. I'm very blessed.
Yeah, which brings me over into my last one. But just before, next question, sorry, just before we go there, I just want to highlight something. Um, People that say they hate Monday off, fucking, Sunday, it ruins their Sunday because they hate Monday because they have to go into this bleeding job. And then the same where they spend all year fucking working and saving and doing all the things to get to a holiday that they spend 2 weeks on. But as they get into the second week of the holiday, they're already counting down. Oh my God, I've only got 4 days left. I've only got 5 days left, or whatever it is. But you're
Mm.
not enjoying the present because you're
No.
worrying about the future, which is
Yeah.
obviously creating anxiety, and you're hating the life that you're going back into.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to people who are living on that hamster wheel?
You see, again, like I can see from their perspective, right? We have to see that everyone has different perspectives. So if you're
Hmm.
caught in that trap of the 9 to 5, and you're caught in this trap, and you're conditioned, you're in this, and you're caught in the trap. So I can see it, right? But you have to be brave and change something. But it all just starts with choice, and whether that could be, right, I'm going to try step into something different for a while. Maybe that might not work, but that is your step towards your new direction, whatever that may be. And it all starts with that choice. But it's taking that leap of faith and trusting that no matter what, it's all going to be okay.
Yes, it's all perfect because
Mm.
it's a wisdom, a stepping stone.
Yeah, like when I think back, like let's say doing my eyebrows, and I had abundance of money, right? At some stage, like I never had to worry, let's say, about how much and I don't mean to say this with a big head or whatever, but weeks where I wouldn't have to worry about, like, let's say, or I'd never look at the price of something because everything was flowing really with ease. And then when I had my baby, it was like, right, I'm on 260 a week, €260 a week here maternity. So I
Ah,
went from that to that, and I juggled it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then I was like, right, I need to pull back here. I need to look at life a little bit differently, and it's all teaching us something.
Aha. So good. It's all teaching us something
Mm.
because the wisdom
And
around
even
the
like,
world.
let's say, sorry, cutting across and just getting a
No,
bit
no,
light
you're
on it,
good.
but like, let's say me
Fire
having
away.
the abundance at one stage in my life and then not having an abundance, it makes you just realize, right, I maybe was a little bit or whatever, like, but now, like, you're like, you brings you back to that appreciation.
Jackpot. There's something I want to highlight here because I think this is priceless. Because a lot of people make money and objects and material riches their gods. And when it goes away, I just learned this in the workshop that I facilitated in Australia a couple of weeks ago. After everybody who built up the material riches and then the global financial crisis hit, the world had the biggest suicides from wealthy individuals across the world, because they had created money as their god, fucking cars and all the other things as their god. It's really in the hardship that we get to learn who we are, and it builds resilience. Is that what you
Yeah.
found, going from having all the things and all the clients and the consistent cash flow to
Yeah.
having to budget on 260 a week?
Yeah, no, that's not to say I'm on my own, because I'm not, but I'm just saying, when you have all these direct debits or your bills coming out or whatever, and you never really had to, you've cash flow coming into your bank account or whatever, and then let's say when I was on my maternity leave, right, there's like a lot less, do you know what I mean? And there's a lot more bills to be paid as well. Definitely, and it builds you up. But I think some people let the materials or what type of house they live in or what type of clothes they wear define who they are and put them on that pedestal in life, and that's not what we're here for.
So
It's not
also,
what we're here for. Like, I look around, I have a fabulous car and I have a fabulous home around me, I have a beautiful house. But like, if I didn't have that, would I be a different person? No.
yes,
I
that's
grew up in a
epic.
council flat all my life. Did that
Yes, I
still
love
make
it.
me feel any less than what I was? No.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Because I just want to highlight something else here. It can become your prison. Living up
Yeah.
to that, if you create a certain standard of living out of ego mindset, and all of a sudden you lose a job or something else happens and you start to struggle financially, but you're trying to keep up with that level of living that you lived at because you want to prove to
That's
other
when you're
people.
suffering.
Yeah, it becomes your prison, doesn't it? It's prison or
Yeah.
paradise. You get to choose
Yeah. It's
all
when
the
you
time.
start to suffer.
Wearing the
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
Um,
And the funny thing is as well, though, sorry, I'm just like thinking, even on a personal level or whatever, like I think as well, some weeks you could be great, or you could be just, let's say you get a fabulous holiday or whatever. Like, I think what's happening in the world as well is people are sharing it so much that people expect people to live up to this lifestyle or expect them, and then they're only really living it for everybody else, or they're only
yeah.
really, you know what I mean, trying to be this person or trying to have that thing for everybody else.
Just to
And then
show it off.
people kind of put you on a pedestal because they think you have more than them, and in fact it's not, because we can all have as much as we want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You
There's
know,
any amount of it. And my outfit was telling me there, he where did he go to? A few places around Europe. He's like, oh, I got this flight for fucking, the cheap flights are back anyways, like €19 or 20,
great.
20 or 30 euro flying into, now it's flying in on odd days, but you're going to Rome and Milan
Yeah,
and Budapest. I can't remember what, there were some incredible cities for 2 and 3
yeah, and
days
it's
for
the
peanuts.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
experience, yeah. So, so you crossed over into sound healing.
So yeah, sorry, then I had the baby, and obviously slowed down with brows, closed the studio, and that, having the baby was huge. So it opened me. Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I'll ask you about the baby first. How was the birth? Because I was with you. I think you were about 8 months, close to 8. You were close to term when I was with you out in Dunleary. We went for breakfast. And yeah, so how we spoke about you were having a home birth and all of the things. So how
yeah,
did
the
all of
birth
that
was
go?
beautiful.
Yeah.
So we won't, not that we won't get too much into it. No, but the birth was absolutely gorgeous. Like, when you just realise as well that you have the option to have the care that I had, and just to have that, like, I had my midwife come out to the house for my appointments, and I got to know her on a personal level, and then to have the baby at home, it was absolutely gorgeous, and it was just great to have who I wanted around me. Finish, like, it was beautiful. It's like, birth is not what we are made to believe that it is.
Uh-huh.
And like, people be like, oh, a bit extreme, and why do you want to be so different, or whatever, to give an opinion on it. But like, here's what I say, right? I had the same midwife for every single appointment. I got to know her on a personal level. She knew me. We got to know each other. She birthed my baby, but she was in the room when I birthed the baby, and you have that choice, or you're going into a room with full of white lights, full of strangers, and God knows how many of them could be around the bed, and you could break your baby there with those people telling you or think they know you and your body more than you do, or the midwife who's been to every single appointment. So I think, like, tell me what's a bit more strange here.
Yes. And on a hospital bed as opposed to in the comfort
With
of,
lights all around you, and you're on your back and you're uncomfortable, and you have strangers all around the bed, or you're in the comfort of your own home, eating and drinking whenever you want, with beautiful surroundings, your own choice of music, whoever you'd like in the room for support, and your comforts of your own bed, anything that you need.
yes, epic, epic. Because we had a
Mm.
home birth as well with Bodie. But,
Yeah,
you know, I never knew anything about this until I met Saoirse. And women and women's bodies are fucking like, it's just
unbelievable.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you got to do that, and it was all, I won't say a walk in the garden, but it was
No, do you
all
know what
good.
it was? Like, it was uncomfortable, but I mean, I had a C-section on Lola, and I got induced, and like when I got induced, that was like horrendous. Like, I mean, memories of that was, it was horrible. It was so hard, like so hard. And I didn't feel like I could control it at all. And I just felt like it was, when I think back at that experience, it was just not my, it wasn't me in that experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like it was happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was happening to me, right? And then when I look at my experience with Bo, was like, right, yeah, it's a little small bit uncomfortable. Like, I had no pain relief. The only thing I used was a comb in my hand. It didn't need gas or air, and it was uncomfortable at times because it's long and you're tired. That's normal. But like, it was, I was feeling it. It was me in the experience.
So how, like, just with that, so you felt like it was happening to you. So obviously the hospitals intervened and done all the things because they said that based on fear,
Yeah, but I was
it's
21
it's
as well, and
safer.
there's no education on birth, there's no education on any of this. Like, and when back then, even when I would have been pregnant, Lola, I didn't even know like a placenta existed. Like, I
Uh-huh.
didn't know all this stuff, or I didn't know that you could have took your placenta home, or I didn't really know that, what the, like, what my body was doing or anything. Like, who would have
Mm.
told us this? And our grannies wouldn't have spoke about it to our mums, and like my mom's very open, but it wouldn't have been something that they would have
Yeah.
really spoken about. So it's very different. But and then with Bo, like, it was completely different. Like, I learned so much, and like so much so that it's mind
Yeah.
blown what we need to know, what every woman needs to know, what everybody, woman or man, needs to know, because we all come from the woman.
Yes. And that's a fucking fact that can never be
And that's a fact.
changed.
Mhm.
Um, so you said that you didn't feel like you were in your own body, or you didn't feel like it was you. You felt like it was like, yeah, hijacked when
Yeah,
you
because I
got
just
back.
felt like, when I look back now, at the time though, it was kind of like, all right, and I felt, I didn't feel safe, however, but I felt it was grand. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And when I went in there, it was like, right, this is how it happens, or this is what should happen. You go into the hospital and they tell you what they're going to do, or they tell you how it's going to be. And then over the years, like, I was like, man, that was wrong. Do you know what I mean? That was wrong.
mhm,
Like, that's like, why did they section me? Or why, like, she wasn't, I just knew, I was like, Lola wasn't ready to be born. Like, why would they induce it? Do you know?
uh-huh. What,
And then that's how I realized, then when you go in there, you really just hand over your power.
yes, jackpot. What was she born on a due date or early or what?
No, she was 11 days, she was 11 days over a due date. And then on Bo, I went to 43 weeks pregnant.
43 weeks. So
So
just
like,
quickly,
in hospital terms, they wouldn't have let me go beyond
yeah,
39 plus 6 on Bo.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
I
that would
hear you.
be 3 weeks prior to him being born, which means his lungs wouldn't have been fully formed or anything like this. And then, like, even if we go into the whole hospital birth and the cord cutting and stuff
Yeah,
like that, like, it's wild.
yeah, because you leave it, the
Yeah,
longer you
like, Bo
leave it,
was
the
connected
more.
to my placenta for 50 minutes after.
50 minutes, yeah, lovely.
Mhm.
Um, so you said you didn't feel like you were in your own body or you were in control. How did you feel after giving birth to Bob?
Beautiful, empowering, beautiful, and just, yeah, self connection. And it was honestly like gorgeous.
Uh-huh.
And there's no other word other than like empowering. And
Empowering.
like it just makes you realize as well, it's like what women like, this is why you're a man and I'm a woman, because that's what my body does.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not to say that every woman on earth has to have babies, but this is why we are designed this way, because we can birth babies.
yes, yes. Isn't it interesting? Because how much people project their fear onto you. That's what I know. That was one of the biggest things I learned through going through that experience. It was like, whenever anyone heard it was a home birth, the reaction was like, and
Are
then
you mad? Yeah.
yeah, bang, just bang, 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 bang,
Yeah.
question, question,
Or like,
question,
a
question.
real dope thing, and people don't even mean you mad bastard. And it's like,
Yeah,
really, like,
exactly.
I'm mad. I'm mad. I was sitting there having tea and toast with my baby, my husband, my ma, my daughter, and my midwives after birthing, and me, like Alan's man there, right? So we were all sitting there looking at this baby. We were all having tea and toast, right? So that's class as mad.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, you could go into a hospital, your partner gets kicked out at 10 o'clock, you're after being drugged up to the eyeballs, you're numb in the bed, and you're made to think you're, and that's not mad.
yeah.
That's, to me, is like partially insane.
It's a straight jacket. It's what's that? Asylum.
It really is like, and when you go into the hospital, you are on a clock. They don't have time to, like, let's say, oh right, we leave Robyn in that room for, could be 70 hours, could be labour for 70 hours, and we leave Sarah in that room for 50 hours. They don't have that time. They don't have the capacity. So you're on a clock. When you go into the system, you're on the clock system,
To get
and they
in and
need you
out.
in and they need you out.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it interesting how, people's defaults, which is the same for me, so I'm not any different than anyone else. I don't think Robyn is claiming to be either. We just learned a bit more along the way. But when people's defaults is to call you mad, it's just it's because it just shows you how trained we are at that.
Yeah, and this is it. And as I said, I don't like, it's a real dope thing. We're like that as dopes, like we're real forward and out straight. We say sometimes not the wrong thing, but just how we are. We're programmed and conditioned. One
Like,
of my clients said to me one time, she's looking up at me like this, and she goes, "You're not really gonna have a home birthday." And I'm out to this pregnant, and I just looked at her and said, "Ah, no," because
it's not worth it.
like my whole conversation, my conversation, very different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and like when you're pregnant, you're tired and you're vulnerable and all. And I was just like, I don't have the energy for that. And as
yeah.
well, like I was tunnel vision. I didn't want anyone to give an opinion or anyone to be like, don't do that, or like, oh, you're mad, you know?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm just laughing here as well. Do you know the way you say dubs, Irish people, we don't have any filter. Whenever I'm
No
home
filter.
with my ma, the whole lot of them, are you eating again?
Yeah.
And you as well, you little pox, call me a fat cunt.
Yeah, like I
Uh,
have to send the one line out of the belly on you.
yeah, I know, you swine. But yeah, no filter. But look at then coming across, then you started into your well done by the way, the home birth and all the things. The baby's a little beaut. He's so cute. He's so fucking cute. But
Thank
from
you.
then, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
so
From
then
then,
from then I kind of knew, like I feel I'm being brought in a different direction. And it's like kind of now I'm like, right, I'm still kind of not in limbo with it, but I'm very much, I know that so I'm like, right, because when I was dancing, what am I doing, brows or sound here now, what is it? And then I was like, right, I can do it all. I can do it all because I'm doing less of it. And
yes,
my thing is, like, I'm making people feel good in very different ways, and it's all beneficial and it's all needed. So because at one stage I was kind of like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, but I can. So I
fucking
have the
right.
sauna business, I have the brows, and I do sound healing. Yeah, and so the brows is like a skill and it's comfort, and I love my clients and I'm happy with the slow pace, and that's why I have that love there, and that's why I'll continue to do that. The sound healing I'm very passionate about because I believe the power of the sound healing. So it's a passion, and I'm like, people need it,
Mm-hmm.
and the benefits of it are phenomenal. And yeah, and it's basically so many more people need it now because we're changing where we're going in the world, and I feel like I'm being guided to bring it.
Yes.
Um,
See,
and that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, another thing what sort of reflecting from you here is when you have a service-based business and it's about serving the people and giving them what they need as opposed to making money, um, we don't need as much energy to live from that
Yeah,
space or to deliver that
yeah,
type of work. Because the
yeah,
sauna is obviously, and the sauna is for the benefit of health. The sound healing is the same. And even the eyebrows, because I'm sure how the women
yeah.
feel
Like
after they
eyebrows,
get,
if people feel good, it helps their mental health,
yeah.
honestly. And it's not as if it's not really an aesthetic thing that like a foreign body or something just ridiculously stupid added onto women. It's actually just enhancing who and what they already have. And if it makes them feel good in that way, well, that's amazing.
Hmm. So what would you say, like giving up, for instance, giving up the brow business and setting up like at the time, giving up the brow business and setting up the sound healing business, you know,
Mm.
that felt good
Yeah,
to
there was
you.
doubt, and there was doubt there, and I was like, right, to comfort, like my brows are very comfort. I can honestly, like, I could do so many people's eyebrows in a day that I could probably take on 3 staff members' eyebrows. I can do it quite easily. Like it
Mm,
comes to me very naturally, and I can do it, and I make it look easy. Like I could fit a lot of people in the, like, do you know what I mean? In a time that some
mm,
other people would struggle with, and that's just from years of practice. So that's very much my comfort zone. And when I walked away from the even studio, like, yeah, there was times where I was like, am I doing the right thing? Do you know what I mean?
uh-huh,
Like, it's safe network. It's like, it's the bills are being paid easily. Do you know what I mean?
uh-huh,
And so then questions did come, am I doing the right thing? But you just have to follow your heart. And like even still sometimes, like when I'm, let's say, putting up, if there was a sound healing, and again I'm very lucky that most of the time they are quite full or whatever, like, and nobody would feel like they want to, or I wouldn't think that people are booking in fast enough, and you're like, oh Jesus. And at the same
yeah,
time it doesn't make half as much cash or abundance of money like that the brows would in such a short space of time. Like for
uh-huh,
what I can make on a daily basis doing eyebrows, I probably have to do a full run of full classes for a week of
uh-huh,
sound healing.
yeah,
So it's
and
very, very different. But again, I just feel there's a passion there for it.
there you
And
go.
I do feel that people need the sound healing more. It can help people a little bit more. Well, a lot more,
Yes,
but this is what I'm stepping into.
yes, I love that. And what's coming to mind is when you love what you do,
You never work a day in your life.
there you go. So what is next for Robyn Browning?
So yeah, I have like I've lots of different plants. I feel called to. I feel like I'm going towards a little bit more like online, offering people different things online. So I'm just trusting in the flow, and it's flowing and coming to me at ease. So I'm just allowing that. Like if I look at when I was doing the events last year, and I knew what I wanted, but was kind of like I wasn't getting it right. And I have this thing that I'm going to do. I don't really want to, I can't say too much about it, but I have this program that I'm going to do, and it's online. And I remember I had done a poster and all for probably about a year and a half ago, maybe. I definitely, or maybe I was, yeah, so about a year and a half ago, would have been early stages of pregnancy. And I was like, right, I'm going to go for this. And I set it up and I named it and all. And I had the poster done and I posted it. And then I was like, just doesn't feel right. I just don't feel like it's any connection to it or whatever. And it only came back to me last week, and I was like, right, that's when I'm going to do that, and that's how I'm going to do it.
What is it?
I told you I can't really say too much about it. No, it's like an online thing that I want to do for 21 days. And I have this in my
Okay.
head, like, so I have this in my head a year and a half, and I have the post I've done, and I'm like, right, 21-day online set that I have that I want to do. But it just never came with ease, or never, it just didn't align.
Yeah, I
And
get it.
I'm
I get it.
fully like, I just don't force anything like that. So I had posted on Instagram and all, and people were kind of, a few people were talking about it, and then I was just like, no, do you know what? And I just scrapped that and never done that. But I'm after getting, I know it's right now to do it, and I know when I'm going to do it. It's not that way.
Yeah, yeah. When are you
But
gonna do
I've
it?
been thinking about this. I'm going to start on the 4th of January.
1st of January. Lovely.
So it's going to
Uh,
be, so I'll just say, like, let you know, it's the 4th of January. It's for 21 days. I'm going to commit to live sessions on Instagram. Anyone can tune in. It's going to start at 9 p.m., which is 21:00. And it's going to be for 21 minutes. And we're going to do 21 days of I have 21 journal prompts and then meditation. So
Deadly.
yeah,
That's late enough for me to do it as well. The
yeah,
1st of January, Jesus, I'll be in Thailand. I'm going to
really
Thailand. I'm going to Ireland and then to Thailand after that.
deadly.
Yeah, friends are over this side of the world. But anyways, coming back to you, that's epic, Robyn. That's epic. That's absolutely epic. And there's a question that I missed there. How do people feel after doing your sound healing?
They honestly, the people, the way they feel is brilliant. And I have so many returning people that coming back to me because of how good they feel. And every time they do a session, they feel different. So like it can help with any form of, like, just let's say if you're going through a bad patch in your life, or you just even you want to be in stillness, you want to feel good, you want rest, you just need to release. Like, it's nothing too heavy, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So what happens is I play instruments, just everything has its own vibration and frequency. All your organs, your body, your skin, everything in the universe works off frequency. I play the instruments and they send out a frequency, and then this happens. So with humans, then it moves the energy or the emotion through the body, and different things can come up. You might feel like, different thoughts come up. Some people cry, some people just feel absolutely bliss, some people feel really relaxed, or it could happen the day or two after we move the energy, and because it's still walking through the body, the vibrations and frequencies, and people get clarity on different things. It helps with irritation, sleep problems, many different things.
So what I'm sort of hearing is it's a bit of a reset.
Yes.
It's like where you can go in and unplug. How long do they go on for, the events?
It depends really. So every second Friday I have a short little session just for people to come at the end of the week, and they don't need to dedicate a lot of time, so they come home for an hour. And that's perfect. It's gorgeous, it's real light, and people are loving that session. So I run that every second Friday. Then once a month I do like cacao and sound, or else I do sauna and sound bath, and them sessions would be for like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, amazing. I done after my ayahuasca journey up in Burren, well, the Burren hinterland, we had a sound bath. It's like 5, 6 hours. It's insane. And what were
Yeah,
we on? We were on peyote during it.
right.
The cactus, the
That's
grandfather
intense.
plant. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fucking mental.
yeah, yeah,
But it was
yeah.
incredible. So I never knew anything about it until I did that. But
Mm.
so basically what you're saying is you're helping, like the Friday one is interesting because you're helping people to decompress and reset after
Yeah,
the hamster wheel of life, if you will.
yeah.
How do those people leave afterwards?
They just, honestly, loads of people just feel lighter. They feel lighter. They feel good, and just feel bliss. Like, there's no other words that people just say. They just absolutely love it.
Uh-huh. Epic.
I suppose the way I do it as well is the sessions that I do are real. Like, I don't go real deep. Just work out there, and there's things that you can do if you want to go deep for a different form of release. But what I do is real. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
nice, it's easy, it's relaxing, it's lovely, true warm.
Lovely. 2 more questions and we'll finish
Yeah,
out. You can go home to your
I know.
babies. So you can leave work and go back to work. Education. What I've noticed throughout this whole conversation, and which is obviously your life, you've educated yourself in different modalities of life and business and all the things along the way, and still it looks like you do that. How high would you value education, self-education?
Oh my God, it's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself in your life. I remember years ago, I was just real quick, briefly touch on a friend of mine said to me years ago, why do you always challenge yourself, or why do you always challenge things that come to you? And I was like, because I question everything, because I like to know, like, right, is this right or is it wrong, or like, I like to know in depth everything that's happening around me, or everything that's put in front of me.
Uh-huh.
So it's so like, she looked at it as like, oh, you always like to challenge things. No, I like to know, I like to understand, I like to get deep, and I like to really figure stuff out just so I can educate myself on it.
Yes. And when you're educated, you can pass that on to your clients and through your own wisdom. Is that right?
Yeah,
And your
yeah,
family. And
yeah.
your
Oh
family,
yeah,
you
definitely.
as a parent. Final question. What does success look like to you? Or what does it mean to you?
honestly, at this point in time in my life, inner peace and happiness, and you're successful.
Boom.
Mm.
Mic drop. Is that it?
Boom. So
Robyn,
that's it. Yeah, inner peace and happiness is what success looks like for me at this point in time in my life.
beautiful. Thank you very much for your time, giving me your evening. You've been an incredible guest, and I look forward to watching your story unfold from here.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a gorgeous day.
Thank you. If you know you've been feeling stuck in 2024 in your life and business, and you've been wanting to up level in all areas, this is the rocket ship waiting for you. I'm taking on 2 brand new clients who want to increase their consistency, increase their confidence and cash flow in 2025. The new year doesn't start on January the 1st. The new year starts now with the consistent action you put in place to set yourself up for the life that you desire. Again, the new year doesn't start on January the 1st. Those who win in life take action long before that. Head over to my website at darragh.com. You will find the email and the Calendly link to get yourself booked in for a chat.